Okay, hi and welcome back to All Things Equilateral, where I'm very lucky that it's summer because there's still some daylight out at 8:15. I'm working against the light, people. Anyhow, June book haul. Remember my super massive May book haul? In case you don't, I'll just link it up here. It was huge. June is proving to be equally as big. Okay, not quite equal. So let me start with my library books. First of all, I'm still reading Deadly Summer. I don't know what has taken me so long to read it, except for the fact that I don't think I was quite ready for detective fiction. It's really good. I am enjoying it, but it's just taking me forever to finish it. So the next two books that I got out of the library, because that was a library book, are Next Year in Havana by Chanel Pleaton. Now this romance is super highly recommended on Goodreads, and it's about a freelance writer who grew up with stories of her grandmother in Havana. I think her grandmother told her the stories. So it tells both points of view, Miami 2017 with the granddaughter journalist, and Havana 1958, which was the grandmother. I have heard nothing but really wonderful things about this historical romance. So yeah, Havana. I think I hauled this in May, but you know, forgive me, I extended my time with it with the library, so I still have Love Songs and Other Lies by Jessica Pennington, and this is that rock and roll romance about a girl and a boy. The boy's in a band, and he wrote a song about her that became a hit, and now I think they are on a battling bands reality show, and the girl has joined the show as an intern. Doesn't that sound good? Okay, the next book is a very special one, and shout out to my friend Lisa from Lisa's Books and Smiles. She sent me as a birthday present, you guys, a Page-Tune book, The Last Piece of My Heart. Now, you may know from all my previous hauls that I really have grown to love Page-Tune. And guess what? This book was on my TBR, of course it was, so are all the Page-Tune books. But I didn't have this one yet. So, and I didn't place a hold on it in the library because I have 3 books out. Sophie, she's got to slow down with the library holds. Anyway. This is about Bridget, who is a successful travel journalist. She has ambitions to turn her travels into a blog. A writer called Nicole Dupree dies, and Bridget is tasked with finishing her latest story. She then meets Nicole's grieving husband. That's all I'm going to say. His name is Charlie. Lisa, thank you so much, girl. Couldn't possibly love you more. The note that Lisa enclosed just made me tear up. Bookish friends are truly the best of friends. She also enclosed this adorable bookmark that said she believed she could, so she did. Thank you for those words of inspiration. Thank you for the Page-Tune book. Birthday month, it continues. Okay, I blame Nancy from Ravenous Reader for this book. She went to ALA, you guys. I went to 2 ALAs, and more than anything, I want to go back. It's the American Library Association annual conference, and it's chock full of goodies. Nancy filmed part of a book reading with the author. I think it's pronounced Alice Arden. I hope I got that right. And she wrote this story that I think the 3rd book is now out. It's called The Cosquette Girls. And I think there's magic and witches in New Orleans. It just sounds so good. And I didn't want to get involved in it at first, but I kept seeing it pop up, and hearing her read from the latest book just totally made me want to read this. Because once upon a time, the year that we got married, which was 25 years ago in September, but right before we got married, we went into New Orleans, and you guys, it was just a magical city. It was so beautiful. So any story that's set there, I'm usually, and includes magic, I'm there. Speaking of being there, Allison Pearson, when I was a busy executive type mama, I read her first book. I think it was her first book, called I Don't Know How She Does It. I thought it was a self-help book. I really did. It was about a busy executive mom who just couldn't do it all. And really, you know, I think someone asked me a couple of videos ago why I call this All Things Equilateral. Part of it was represented me trying to juggle everything. Part of it was representing my 3 kids. Get it? Triangle, yeah. It had nothing to do with math. Anyway, when I read I Don't Know How She Does It, I totally related to being a very busy mom of very small kids, trying to keep career and home and everything, just all the balls were dropping at once. She's written a sequel to I Don't Know How She Does It called How Hard Can It Be? And this time she's approaching 50, she has teenagers, it's the same character, and she's trying hard to get back in the job market. If this sounds familiar, hello. Remember how I said I love page 2? Lisa mentioned this book during our Chick-Lit-a-thon wrap-up. It's 5 years from now. And it's about these 2 characters, Nell and Van, who meet as children, and then they meet as children when their parents fall in love. And then they are, quote, forced worlds apart. Maybe a divorce. 5 years later, they find each other and their bond is rekindled. And then for the next few decades, or 2 decades, they keep finding each other every 5 years and kind of rekindling that bond. And Lisa said it made her cry. So I know what page 2 does. It appears to be kind of light and fluffy and very kind of chick-lit-esque, but then she makes it a little bit deeper than you expected, which, you know, for me, those are the best kind of chick-lit stories. And then Lisa also recommended Johnny Be Good. Do you guys remember for Chick-Lit-a-thon, we read the Jesse Andrews trilogy, which is Page Toon's YA trilogy. This is an adult romance, and it's about Jesse's dad, the rock star. It's called Johnny Be Good, and Lisa also really recommended this. I think she recommended the audiobook as well, but I'm going to read it, you know, from the hard copy. I'm going to read the paperback. The next book, my friend Emily from Australia, MG, she is so amazing. She went to a book signing with Jay Kristoff for his new book called Lifelike. And you guys, she got it signed for me. It says, for Sophie, think first, die last. You know, a philosophy I'd like to adopt. Anyway, this story, it says it's Romeo and Juliet meets Mad Max meets X-Men with a little bit of Blade Runner cheering from the sidelines. It is, it's sci-fi, and it has robot gladiators, and it has this girl named Eve who is having a worst day ever. Science fiction, Jay Kristoff, worst day ever. I can totally relate. Okay, remember when I said that I didn't like thrillers, but I keep reading them, you guys, I can't help myself. This one caught my eye because of, honestly, the title. It's called The Fandom. And it's by Anna Day. Do you see the thorns on the roses? The cover is just beautifully designed. It's so graphic. So it's about a mega movie and book franchise called The Gallows Dance, and our main character, Violet, goes to a Comic-Con type convention where she gets transported into the story for real. So it combines fandoms and time travel. Hoping this one's good because honestly the premise sounds amazing. I said I would never read another Libba Bray book again after reading her Victorian trilogy. What is it, A Dark and Terrible Beauty? I think I'll just put it up here because stuff happens, and in the 3rd book Libba did something, and I think most of you who have read it know what I'm referring to. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who haven't. I was so shocked by that I thought, you know what, I'm not going to read another book of hers. She is genuinely funny on Twitter and on, I think, Instagram. I've seen posts from her, and she's always super funny. She seems really gracious to fans that she's met. And I have tried to avoid this next trilogy forever. It hits all the buttons that, you know, I love. The 1920s and magic, urban fantasy. I'm gonna go plunge in. It's the Diviners. Libba, I don't think, can write a short book. In fact, she has. There's the Beauty Queen dystopian one. But this just sounds good. It's 1926, it's New York, speakeasies and Ziegfeld girls, and magic and mayhem. So I'll report back and let you know how I like this, but couldn't help myself. I finally did it. Okay, so this book I started reading on NetGalley, And then it came out, and somehow other books and other commitments kept kind of pulling me away. But I'm about 50 pages into it, and it's a very short book. It's not very long. This is American Panda by Gloria Chow. And it's about a girl who goes away to college, and she has her ethnic parents following her every step, full of opinions. You know, I totally related to this one. And I would stop and tell Kat about it and compare it to my own life. I've got to finish this book. I just got a copy of my own. Can hardly wait. Speaking of chick lit, have I not mentioned it like 300 times? Probably should have organized it by genre or something, but you know me. Lauren Weisberger wrote one of my favorite chick lit books, The Devil Wears Prada. You guys, I read this before the movie came out, then I saw the movie. I love both equally. I worked for a woman like this. My husband is sitting right here so he can confirm it. So when I saw that The Devil Wears Prada had a sequel, and actually I know Lauren has written a sequel to this, but it's gotten pretty bad reviews. So she's written a third version of it, or not version, but a third sequel called When Life Gives You Lululemons. Just the title alone. I mean, it's just so good. So it takes up with the same characters that we met, except now she is in Greenwich, Connecticut, Emily Charlton, which I'm not sure if that's the same character. I don't think so. But she's in Greenwich, Connecticut, and she's trying to fit in with, you know, being a suburban mom. But so she finds herself working with some Hollywood clients, and Miranda Priestley, you may remember her, shows up. Kat and I also went to our local used bookstore where I picked up Patrick Ness's More Than This. This book came out a few years ago, and I know it's been hauled by a bunch of people, but I've never seen anyone who has actually read it. It's about Seth, who drowns desperate and alone, but when he wakes, naked, thirsty, starving, he's alive. But where is he? The streets seem familiar, but everything is abandoned, overgrown, covered in dust. He remembers dying, but he doesn't remember what happened. So it says here, has he woken up in his own personal hell? Is there more to this life, or perhaps an afterlife? As somebody who loved Jean-Paul Sartre's No Exit, nothing, a personal hell story is always a good premise. Adding to our used bookstore haul, I picked up two of Sophie Kinsella's books, one of which I read and I so enjoyed. It's called 20s Girl, and I think I reviewed this over on Mundie Mom's grown-up book reviews, I believe, and it's about a girl who finds herself at her great Aunt Sadie's funeral when all of a sudden great Aunt Sadie appears, and she wants Laura, the name of our character, to find a necklace that she's been missing. So it's a ghost story, it's a bit of a mystery, it's Sophie Kinsella, and there is such a good romance in this. I also picked up Can You Keep a Secret? You know, I've yet to read all the Shopaholics. I stopped, I think, right before Baby, so maybe it was the second or third book. I read the second for sure. But I'm trying to kind of work my way around the Shopaholic series, and then I'll go in and probably borrow them from the library, because they're a little formula. Love you, Sophie, but you know. So this is about, it's about a girl who meets a stranger on a plane, and she keeps all these secrets that people have told her, like her mother and her boyfriend, and inexplicably, she gets, you know, diarrhea of the mouth, which I've been there, and she tells this stranger all about these secrets when, all of a sudden, Monday morning, her office is abuzz about the new CEO, and it's the stranger from the plane, you guys, and he knows all of her secrets. How does Sophie Kinsella do this every time? I'm so hooked. Okay, and the last book I have was actually a Chick Lit-a-thon recommendation. I am sorry, I've forgotten which booktuber had this. I think she's from Australia because this is an Australian book. It's called Cherry Bomb by Jenny Valentish, and she reviewed it, and it just seemed like something that I would love. It's about a girl named Nina Dolly who created a teen band called The Dolls. So you know I'm there. And she did it to escape suburban hell, so you know I'm there. And it's about her aunt who had a band in the 1980s, and then she disappeared from public view, and she has resurfaced to help the dolls through their foray into rock and roll and how to avoid scandals and all of that. And it's about the relationship between the girls and the dolls and the aunt, the old pop idol. I've heard it's really good. Goodreads also rates it very highly. So, hey, right? I'm there. And then I just want to show these, you guys. Emily included these beautiful bookmarks from J. Kristoff signing, but wait for it. When you turn them over, look at that artwork. It said, this is Preacher, and it says, he don't bite, darling. That's my job. He's got like a dog. I know. And then, oops, there's Evie. And it says, stronger together, together forever. A character named Lemon Fresh. I'm too pretty to sweat. And the last one is Ezekiel. And it says, all I am, all I do for you. And he's got this like body armor. Okay. Oh, June Hall. Really hot. Air conditioner is not working. Hoping to get that fixed soon. You guys, what did you get in June? Did you go hog wild crazy like obviously I did? Or, were you more low key? I promised to be that way in July. We'll see. I think I will, because the girls and I have an awesome trip planned and I'm so excited about it. So hopefully by the time this is uploaded, we're there. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's Sophie Rigsby. Also on Twitter, same name. Give me a like, won't you? Click subscribe, and also click the bell icon to know when I post or to be notified, because I post so haphazardly, you guys. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who's joined me on this journey. It's been 2 years since I started this BookTube channel in July, and it's been so fun. Such a journey. I'm so thankful for all of you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Cut.